Okay, here we are for week 7, pillar 2, guidance. I will give you some guidance and instruction on the design format and the portfolio. Okay, here's what we will cover in this short video. The design format, we're going to design a cheat sheet from the highlights in chapter 17, looking at establishing the setting for our readers, reviewing the 5 basic principles of design, and then I'll show you the cheat sheet that I created. You can create your own. And then we're going to look at methods for that design, MS Word templates, MS Publisher. If you're a Mac user, I can't show you the content for that, but that's another option. Or you can use some web-based designer or others. If you've got some other ideas, please share with us. And then after that, I will instruct you on the portfolio, what goes in it. I'll show you the instruction sheet, give you a sample, and reference some websites for you that shows you how to create it. Okay, we will start with chapter 17, designing. You could turn there with me, pause this video whenever you need to. I want to highlight page 375, and when we think about our readers for this design, I want you to consider, are they readers or raiders? Kind of sounds like you're a southerner all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm a raider. I like to raid every day. Sorry if that was a bad joke. So basically it's decide, do you have the type of audience that's going to pore over every word in your proposal that you're designing here, or are they just going to rate it and look for some highlighted content? Our chapter highlights the Gestalt theory of design that many designers use. We're going to look at balance, alignment, grouping, consistency, and contrast as our highlights. So for balance, the Gestalt theory talks about balance as your first one. Several things. You want to balance a picture with the text. The text should be in columns. That creates a balance. It also helps the reader to read quickly, because instead of going all the way across the page to read a sentence, they can just go partly across the page and they can read quicker. That's the idea behind newspaper's format. Make sure you have some headings that stand out. They'll be larger text. Subheadings will be smaller text. Look at the contrast with the color. Also look at how the white frames works as a frame for your design. So all of that should work together for it. So in talking about balance, I've also scooted over to page 381. Again, pause this video whenever you need to if you're following with the textbook. Another way to create balance is pulling out text that would grab your reader's eyes. Those short little dialogue pieces or something that makes your piece really important, your writing piece really important. Go ahead and pull that out in the sides. The text also talks about alignment and groupings, and you look at that is on page 377. So look through that again. I'm trusting that you've already read the content. And then I want to talk to you about consistency, and this is from page 378, 379. But just think about the consistency of color, how the color goes together. This green and green and green is consistent with the nature, the natural landscape of that picture. The consistency of font, we're not using several different fonts to showcase all the fonts. We're showcasing the content, so the font needs to stay consistent. And all these logos are consistent also with the color. I don't know if that was a coincidence or what, but consistency is the key here. And then page 379, you may have already heard somebody harp over this, but the serif versus sans serif typefaces. The serifs are these little bitty legs on letters, and I don't know, I guess they used to be cool. And now what's cool is just very straight and plain. You also want to use these sans serif. Sans is Latin for not. So not serifs, not little legs. You want to use those for presentations and headings, that sort of thing, because people, especially if they have just a little bit of bad eyesight, these little wings and legs can get confusing to them. So here's my signpost or transition. We've highlighted chapter 17. I want you to establish, are you designing for a reader or a rater? So think of that. Let's look at the cheat sheet that I've created from the 5 basic principles of design. So here's my cheat sheet, or just a checklist. Just make sure whatever you choose, actually let me back up. If you use MS Publisher, MS Word, templates, Mac, whatever, we'll look at those in a second. Whatever you choose, make sure you balance the text with pictures and large text headings. Make sure your paragraphs are indented or double spaced. Let the white space work as a frame to frame your text and your pictures. Use a repeating pattern in colors and in text. Use sans serif typefaces so they don't have those little legs on them, and use contrasting colors to bring out the headings and things that you really want your audience to pay attention to. So here's just a picture of Publisher. If you like to use Publisher, if you're familiar with it, you can go for that. If you're not so familiar with Publisher and you're more familiar with Word, you can open up a new document, and from there you will see the templates, kind of like what you use, well, you did use for your letters or memos, and you can run through this and find something that works well for your design work. Maybe you want to design on your Mac or use some web-based designer, or maybe you have something else that you would share with us. I'm always looking for more ideas. So there's a quick instruction on design format. It's basically use what you can use what you know, or research, do something new, try something new. But just make it look good. Make it so that if it's sitting on a coffee table, somebody wants to pick it up and use it. Okay, so let's go on to the portfolio. What goes in it, instructions sheet, sample websites, and how to create it. I talked in the Pillar 1 video about why we do a portfolio. So here are the instructions. You're going to place writing samples into your portfolio and attach a cover letter with it. Here's what goes in it. First of all, it's that reflection or cover letter. And this is it. It's uploaded in Moodle, and it explains to you why we reflect. You learn so much, you sometimes don't always know what you learn, and when you stop to reflect, that really solidifies your learning. So you just talk through on paper how your writing process changed, what type of writing you most enjoyed, what was difficult. That's important for you to think through so that you know what style to approach your next writing with, if you have that option of getting to choose your own style. What are your strengths as a writer? So be specific. Was it easy for you to invent your work, develop your thesis? Was it difficult? Was sentence fluency easy? Was that difficult? Did you have a lot of problems with common errors? And then number 4, it kind of branches off from that. Create a brief error log. And this is just you going back through your papers and saying, you know, what is the theme of my errors? What did the instructor mark the most that that you did incorrectly? And try to get a log of that, and that'll help you stay attuned to those mistakes, so hopefully you won't keep repeating those in your college career. And then there's just a short question at the end. How have you changed as a writer? So that's the reflection cover letter piece. The next piece are writing samples that go into the portfolio. So the first writing sample will be one of those business letters or memos that you made in the first few weeks of the course. So put the one that I graded in there, because I want to see your original work that I graded, and then use my feedback in that graded letter or memo and revise the letter or memo according to my feedback and upload that or attach that to your portfolio, and I'll show you in a little bit how to do a portfolio. Also, your second piece will be, or this would be your third, your cover letter is first, business letter is second. Your third piece will be the profile essay. Put the one in there that I graded, revise the one according to my feedback, and put that in the portfolio as well. And then you'll have the same thing, your analysis essay that I graded, revise that analysis essay according to my feedback, and put that in the portfolio. And then your graded proposal, and then probably you're going to put your revised proposal in that design format. So that's what you would upload there, is your proposal in design format. So let's go on to how do I create a portfolio. Some of you might be familiar with zip files, and I've told you here how to do it. I'll upload this document in Moodle. So you could submit to me a zip file. I encourage you though to try Google Site. Their work looks really good and it's user friendly. Let me show you a sample. Here's what one of my colleagues created as a writing portfolio, and you'll see the different tabs here. So you can upload that cover reflection page, your business paper, your profile essay, you know, that first copy that I graded, and then your revised or proposal essay, etc. He does it just a little bit different, so not all the pieces are in here that I would have you put in yours. But this gives you an idea of what it looks like, and it looks so nice. And the nice thing about using Google Docs, I'll scoot my screen up so you can see that this is a sites.google.com site where you, if you've got a Gmail account or Google account, you just go in and create a web-based site that you can then upload the pieces of your portfolio. So this sheet, this how-to sheet, is uploaded in Moodle, and it'll show you the Google website, sites.google.com. This is an instruction list website that you can click on from that sheet that's uploaded in Moodle, and it just lists out how you can make this Google site. And then here's a video tutorial. It's about 15 minutes long. The first minute and a half, he doesn't really say anything in this video. I don't know the man. It's just from YouTube. So you could forward it to like a minute 30 seconds and start it there if you get impatient watching it. So that concludes the instructions on the portfolio, what goes in it, the instruction sheet that's in Moodle with the samples and the websites, and how to create those samples, websites, or the zip file, whatever you choose to use. So that covers it for our last week Pillar 2 guidance instructions on the design and portfolio. Thanks.